Hey, it's Tay with Mom on the Spectrum, and today I'm here to talk about the phrase, "but you don't look autistic." First of all, I just don't like this phrase. As an autistic person, whenever I hear it, it's just frustrating. When I first started sharing my diagnosis with people and would hear that, I just didn't feel good inside. I feel like it's an invalidation of an autistic person's experience. One symbol that I think works really well to describe autism is an iceberg. You might be able to see some evidence of autism on the surface, maybe if it's like obvious stimming or really obvious social awkwardness, but a lot of the times, and for females on the spectrum, we learn social cues and social rules so that we don't appear socially awkward, and that's a whole lot of work that's done under the surface that you don't see. I would say in my experience, autism is much more of an internal way of experiencing the world. To me, it feels very present every second of every day. To you, interacting with me, it probably won't, because I think one of the reasons is I received my diagnosis at 31, so I had 3 decades of experience trying to cover up some of my awkward social habits, and I created covert ways to stim so that other people wouldn't know that I was doing it. Whenever someone says, "but you don't look autistic," what does an autistic person look like? And don't answer that, because anything that follows is probably going to be a stereotype or a generalization, which we're learning is not usually helpful. When someone says, "you don't look autistic," it feels like an invalidation of their experience, because autism feels very real to the person who is autistic. I guess another way to look at it would be with cars. You don't really know what type of engine the car has until you look under the hood, and you can see so much more about the car than you can from when you're just standing outside. I also feel like this question puts the onus on the autistic person to inform the non-autistic person about autism. The brunt of informing someone else about autism, I feel like, should not rest on the person with autism. So if you are a loved one of someone who has autism, please take responsibility to do your own research. I think that it would be great to ask your autistic loved one if they have any resources that have been helpful to them and start there. But then in this day and age, it's extremely easy to find more resources related to what you want to learn about autism. So rather than say, "but you don't look autistic," you could ask questions. You can say, "wow, tell me more about this." If someone is telling you that they're autistic, it most likely means that they trust you in some form or fashion. So I would encourage you to return the favor by asking questions about what the experience has been like for them. And if you're tempted to say, "but you don't look autistic," maybe you could say something like, "wow, I guess there's a lot about autism that I didn't know. What are some things that have stuck out to you in your experience?" Anything like that. I can say, as someone on the spectrum, being autistic for me is a lot of work. It's constant processing, constant integrating information in a form that's socially acceptable. It's constantly managing my mind and still being present with the people around me. So it feels like a job every single day. If someone is sharing with you that they're autistic, they want to be seen by you. They do not want you to tell them that it's maybe not as bad as they think it is. All that is saying is that the challenges that the autistic person faces are probably not as bad as they think they are, which for me, being on the spectrum means a lot of overthinking. By hearing that it's not as bad as I think it is, that makes me feel like I'm overthinking even more. Autistic people who share this news with you, they want to be seen by you. They don't want to be questioned. They want to be validated. And if you don't know how to validate them, ask questions. Had to get on my soapbox for a little bit this morning because I just can't deal with that phrase right now. We've got to start doing better in the mental health community of being accepting of talking about mental health issues and diagnoses. But I also want to say, if you have said this, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're cruel or mean or hateful or judgmental. It just means that there's learning to do. We all have learning that we can do. If you have used this phrase, I would encourage you, maybe if it feels right, to reach back out to the autistic person or people in your life. Ask them questions, ask if there's anything you can do to support them at this time. And I want to encourage you to become an advocate, because living with autism is very challenging. And I think it would be really great if the burden of informing other people was not resting solely on the autistic community, but also their loved ones. That would make such a difference. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this phrase, if anybody's used it with you before, and how it makes you feel. Subscribe to the channel. It's the best way that you can support me and help me continue making free content for you, which I love doing. I have so many video ideas underway. It's totally free, and all it means is that you'll be updated whenever I post a new video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And as always, keep being weird, own your neurodiversity, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.